There comes a moment in life when you realize that talking about your plans doesn't move you an inch closer to your goals. In fact, sharing too much can drain the very energy you need to build the life you want. The truth is simple. The world doesn't respond to what you say you will do. It responds to what you actually produce. And when you understand that, you begin to value silence in a whole new way. When you keep your intentions private, something powerful happens. You stop feeling the need to impress people. You stop performing for applause. Instead, you begin working for progress. You give yourself the space to grow quietly, to make mistakes privately, and to improve without the pressure of outside opinions. And as your focus sharpens, your actions become stronger. People may wonder what you're up to. Let them wonder. Let your results become the announcement. Because the day will come when your achievements will speak with a clarity your words never could. And those who once doubted, you will stand in silent respect, realizing you didn't need to talk about your journey. You chose to live it. There's a reason the most successful people spend far less time explaining themselves and far more time producing results. When you say what you intend to do, you create an illusion of progress. It feels good to announce your future. It feels satisfying to talk about your next big move. But talking is not building. Talking is not achieving. Talking is not creating. And the moment you rely on words to prove your direction, you weaken the very force that will carry you there, disciplined action. Results, on the other hand, need no explanation. They stand on their own. They don't require persuasion, storytelling, or justification. When you achieve something real, people can see it, feel it, and recognize it without you having to convince them. Results are a language the world understands instantly. They carry a weight that words can never match. When you focus on action instead of explanation, you also free yourself from the need to seek approval. You stop asking for validation before you begin. Instead of waiting for permission, you start creating momentum. This shift changes everything. Suddenly your energy is spent on doing the work, not describing the work. You start making progress that is tangible, quiet progress, real progress. And this silence becomes your power. When nobody knows what you're working on, nobody can interrupt you with doubts or distractions. Nobody can question your pace or your ambition. You protect your mind from outside noise, and you keep your confidence intact. Every hour you put toward your goals becomes an investment in your future, not a performance for someone else's opinion. People respect visible results far more than announced intentions. When you achieve something, they lean in. They want to know how you did it, not how you said you would do it. They admire the discipline, the patience, and the consistency that built your success. And the best part is, you don't have to tell them anything. Your growth becomes the message. So instead of spending your breath explaining your next step, spend your energy taking it. Instead of announcing your plans, build them. Instead of convincing people of your potential, show them your work. Over time, this approach compounds. The quiet days, the unseen efforts, the private decisions, they add up. And one day, the results become so undeniable, they speak for you before you ever open your mouth. When your results speak louder than your explanations, you no longer need to tell people who you are or what you're capable of. They'll see it. And once they see it, they'll never forget it. There is a special kind of strength that comes from keeping your dreams protected, not hidden out of fear, but shielded out of wisdom. When you begin sharing your goals with too many people, you also open the door for their doubts, their insecurities, and their limitations to enter your mind. And often, it is not your lack of ability that slows you down. It is the weight of other people's opinions. Silence becomes a form of discipline. It becomes a guardian for your ambitions. Every dream starts fragile. In the beginning, it lives only in your imagination. It hasn't yet grown strong enough to stand against criticism or casual judgment. When someone questions it too early, that doubt can puncture your confidence like a needle hitting a balloon. That's why silence matters. It buys your dreams time. Time to grow, time to take shape, time to build roots deep enough that no shallow opinion can pull them out. People who doubt you rarely doubt your dream. They doubt their own ability to do something similar. They reflect their own fears onto your future. They speak from a place of limitation, not vision. And if you let that energy in too early, it can slowly drain your excitement, your hunger, and your belief. When you keep quiet, you create distance between your dream and their doubts. You give your ambition a private space to breathe. Silence also protects you from unnecessary pressure. When you tell people what you are planning, suddenly you owe them updates. Suddenly you are performing for an invisible audience. The fear of not living up to what you said can push you into rushing, comparing, or forcing progress that isn't ready yet. But when your vision stays private, you get to grow at your natural pace. You get to fail quietly, learn quietly, and rise quietly, without the spotlight magnifying every step. There is also a practical power in silence. When others don't know what you're working on, they can't interfere. They can't discourage you, distract you, or compete with you. Your moves stay unpredictable. Your progress remains your own. You keep the advantage of being underestimated. And being underestimated is a gift. It gives you room to build without resistance. This quietness shapes your character. It teaches you to depend on your own encouragement rather than applause. It helps you develop a stronger internal voice, one that doesn't get drowned out by the noise of the world. And when your own voice becomes stronger, your conviction becomes unshakable. Eventually, the results will come. The change will show. The transformation will be visible. And by the time people notice, your dream will be too strong for anyone to weaken. They'll see the outcome, but they won't know the struggle. They'll admire your progress, but they won't know the storms you faced. And that's the beauty of silence. It protects your dream long enough for it to become a reality. Private discipline is one of the most powerful forces you can develop because it works quietly, consistently, and without the need for recognition. When no one is watching, you discover who you really are. You find out whether your commitment is genuine or just a performance for the world. Success is not built in public. It is built in the small, invisible moments when you choose effort over comfort, progress over excuses, and focus over distraction. There's something deeply transformative about working in silence. When the world isn't applauding you or checking on your progress, you must rely on your own reasons to keep going, and that internal motivation becomes your greatest strength. It teaches you to push through without needing someone to cheer you on. It teaches you to persist without the promise of immediate results. And it teaches you to stay consistent even when the progress feels slow or invisible. Public success is simply the echo of private discipline. People see the final outcome and applaud it, but they rarely see the nights you stayed up a little longer, the mornings you started earlier, or the countless moments when you refused to quit. They admire the result, but they don't see the discipline that built it. And that's exactly why private discipline is so valuable. It is the part of the journey that shapes you into the kind of person capable of holding success. When you work privately, you also eliminate unnecessary pressure. You no longer feel the need to impress, compete, or compare. You're not trying to look productive. You're actually being productive. Instead of worrying about how others perceive your efforts, you direct all your energy toward doing the work that matters. This creates a purity of focus that is hard to find in a world filled with noise and distractions. Private discipline also protects your confidence. When you fail in private, you can learn without feeling judged. You can experiment without fear. You can start again without anyone knowing you had to. This makes you stronger, more resilient, and more creative. Public failures can be discouraging, but private lessons are empowering. They allow you to grow quietly until you're ready to reveal the version of yourself you've been building. And the most beautiful thing is this: by the time your success becomes visible, it is already too solid to be shaken. People will see the result and assume it happened suddenly, but you will know the truth. It didn't happen overnight. It happened in every unseen moment when you chose discipline over distraction. It happened in the hours no one applauded and the choices no one noticed. Private discipline creates public success because it transforms you from the inside out. It builds habits, builds character, builds belief, and builds momentum. And when all of that comes together, the world finally sees the outcome, even though the real work was done long before anyone was watching.